is Małgorzata Dudek, and I'm going to talk about 20th century traumas depicted in the movie The White Ribbon by Michael Haneke. I would like to tell you some words about me. I was born in Nowy Sącz in Poland in 1989. I'm a third-year doctoral student in media studies at the Pontifical University of John Paul II in Krakow. I devoted my doctoral dissertation to the issues concerning contemporary cinema and the values communicated by them. My aim is to try to search for the genesis of violence and the decline of societies on the basis of mentioned picture, The White Ribbon, which is an integral part of my doctoral thesis entitled The New Quality of Communicating, Image of Reality, Social and Ethical Dimension of Films by Michael Haneke. I use in my work analytical, synthetic, comparative, and film analysis methods. The research thesis is that films made by Michael Haneke open a new perspective of research on communication between the viewer and the audiovisual work. I would like to tell you a few words about Michael Haneke himself. He is an Austrian artist from the family of artists as well. His father was German and his mother Austrian. He was brought up on the suburbs of Vienna. He studied philosophy, psychology, and drama. He was working in television first, and then he started creating his own movies for the cinema, for like a big screen. He received numerous awards, including Oscar for The Love in 2012, also 2 Golden Palms won at the Cannes Film Festival for Pictures Love, White Ribbon, and also a Grand Prix for The Piano Teacher. Why his works are interesting and why I'm writing about his works? Because he uses unique techniques. He likes static camera, long shots. He's brutally honest, prefers austerity, does not propose any thesis, is polemical with American cinema, which is interesting. He creates distance leading to reflection. His art causes mental discomfort. Viewer is an active co-creator. He shows pervasive violence, however, he doesn't show direct scenes. The viewer is obliged to imagine the worst moments. He underlines banality of evil, breakup of interpersonal relationship, media status, spiritual emptiness of the middle class, and consumerism. So we are moving to The White Ribbon itself. The whole title is The White Ribbon, a German children's story. Haneke said that children always occupy the lowest rank of the ladder of oppression and are therefore dramaturgically interesting because with them you can most impressively show a society's mechanisms. The fundamental idea was to make a film about a group of children who regard the ideals that are preached to them as absolute, and for this reason punish the people who preach these ideals but who themselves do not live by them. As soon as an ideal or a principle becomes an ideology, it turns out to be dangerous. Children tend to take seriously what they are told, and this can become dangerous. The film investigates the conditions under which terrorism arises. It does this, and I wish to emphasize this, using the historical situation in Germany as an example. It is important to me that the film is not seen only as a film about German fascism, but that It is interpreted as a film about the roots of any kind of terrorism, be it on the political right or left or religious. It always happens where, on account of suppression or misfortune, salvation is sought in an ideology. That's where things become inhuman and dangerous. The White Ribbon portrays a German village in the year preceding World War I. The apparent peacefulness is disturbed by certain accidents and incidents. At the beginning of the movie, the local doctor trips while riding a horse because someone stretched a string between the trees. The farmer's wife dies in a sawmill in the unexplained circumstances. He in turn commits suicide. Next, the landowner's son is kidnapped and beaten. A mentally challenged boy is also tormented. The pastor inhumanly disciplines his children and the doctor molests his daughter. Physical and psychological violence is omnipresent. Now I would like to show some scenes from the movie and tell something more about the story which is hidden in it. In the case of White Ribbon, the great story is located outside the narrative time of the picture. The viewer is aware of the cruelties that will take place after the actual action of the film, and this peripherality, both temporal and location-based, is a source of terror. Small events in the perspective of the later fate of the whole country may be of little importance, but the skillful hand of the director shows clear analogies between what the viewer follows on the screen and what he knows from history. Such perception is also suggested by the off-screen voice. The cinematic images themselves have a hidden meaning, but the viewer does not have the right premises to solve the mystery, so he experiences discomfort. And this can be illustrated by the way violence is shown in this film. Despite the fact that the particular events take place outside the frame, they are still painful for the viewer. He hopes for the catharsis to the end. He wants the situation to be discharged, the evil to be named and punished, but this is not happening. One may wonder who is behind the sector of reality we observe. We want to know the source, but it's impossible. Figures of evil, such as doctor, pastor, or baron, are insufficient for this. The next generation is bad as well. The social diagnosis is therefore disturbing, because omnipresent hypocrisy, legitimizing the victories of the strongest and violence against the weakest, duality of Protestant morality, frustrating fetishization of purity manifested even in the titular White Ribbon. The question of responsibility should apply to the whole society. In this sense, children would be victims of their own times and families. This, however, does not seem to be a sufficient explanation, because also in these children there is a desire for brutality and the discharge of aggression. The film seems to reveal the mechanism of fascism, the formation of totalitarian structures, and overthrow of order by installing ideology and extreme obedience. The viewer watches Haneke's film with a baggage of cultural experience. Also the use of black and white is not aesthetically indifferent. It creates a sense of historical distance and makes what is shown paradoxically more substantial and therefore closer. Now I would like to make a conclusion, a quick summary. The White Ribbon, as I said, poses questions about faces and post-traumas of the 20th century. Michael Haneke shows that behind the great mechanisms are ordinary people with a specific social entanglement, and that the future is not synonymous with inevitable progress. The film is transparent and touches with its non-directness. We can ask some questions like, so what exactly is this movie about? Is this maybe a story about how a good German becomes a bad Nazi? Maybe the place itself determines evil? What should happen? What must happen for apparently good, honest, and religious people to show a tendency to cruelty, to be violent, and to commit crime? Is the ordinary man capable of worst under being under unusual circumstances? It's hard to answer these questions. There are no clean answers. The movie is not showing the answer, not revealing the let's say Haneke's truth or his hidden thoughts, but the director offers us a kind of image which is constructed like a laboratory sample, so we can check by ourselves how history can hurt. Here are sources which were helpful to prepare this presentation, which were helpful for preparation, and thank you a lot for your attention.